How you doing, everybody? Welcome to my channel. This is You Too Can Be Great. Thank you so much, those of you who have congratulated me on my huge baby bump that has me out of breath. I am supposed to be cesarean in it in about 2 months and a couple weeks. So I'm almost due. I can't wait to meet him. I'm tired. I want my body back at least for a little while. It's a lot, but I really appreciate the support that you guys have given me. And for those mothers out there, like I said, y'all need to be paid for your efforts because this is a lot of work. And for guys out there who don't know how it feels like or what it feels like to be pregnant and stuff like that, or you haven't had a wife who's pregnant or you haven't had a girlfriend who's pregnant, just know it takes a lot of you. It does. All these bitches out here online talking about, I'm about to slay this pregnancy shot. No. I'm tired and there's a lot of hormones and shit going on. Now let's get into it. The Real Housewives season 6 reunion part 1, Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, it was entertaining. Part 1, I was very much entertained, and part 2 seems to be is even going to be more entertaining. However, Wendy this season don't seem to be like, she is not giving anybody any passes. It seems like after season 1, Professor Wendy, who wanted to be on her best behavior, wanted to come off like she was in ghetto, wanted to come off as she wasn't going to be this reality TV person who's going to come there and cause drama and be nitpicky and be petty and you know read people and shit. She wanted to be the one who stayed quiet on the panel, well poised. She didn't want to be the person that was branded as the angry black woman that's gonna come there and yell at people or act like Nene Leakes and Real Housewives of Atlanta. She wanted to make sure that she let everybody know that she's very intelligent. And I said what I said last season. I said, give Wendy some time. People always come in Potomac when it first started. All these heifers on this stage try to give this image like, this is Potomac, this is embarrassing, carry yourself the right way. And now look at how all of them are acting straight ratchet as hell. But Wendy is basically sick of everybody. Not everybody like Karen and stuff like that, but she and Candiace are cool. But everybody that's pissing her off and annoying her, Wendy is done with them, and she's going to say whatever she wants to say and she don't give a damn. So this reunion, she was more, I think, the person that was outspoken more than she has ever been. At least last season she wasn't to this extent. Now we have the dresses, the looks. Gizelle's look is as plain as her emotions, and her hair, her dress is as uneventful as her personal life with no relationship. But Gizelle always looks plain. There's nothing extravagant about her hairstyle. She always, I mean, Gizelle's a beautiful girl, and Wendy did say that she has the light skin syndrome last season, where she feels like she's light skinned, or the pretty girl syndrome, not light skin, the pretty girl syndrome, that she feels like because she's already pretty, she doesn't have to try. Now, I'm not saying that what she's wearing is hideous. I'm just saying, compared to the amount of effort that people put in for this platform on these reunions to look a certain way, you know, their hair, their clothes are fancy, she does the bare minimum, child. And kudos to her if it makes her happy. It's good for her self-esteem. But child, you haven't been able to keep a man, so maybe you need to just go on and up it. Not that your clothes keeps a man. I'm just saying Gizelle needs to try something different, because what she's been trying all her life at 50-something years old is not working. She's just playing. Then we have Wendy, and her makeup this year is a lot better. I do think that her makeup artist still needs to be replaced. Wendy is a chocolate woman. She needs a chocolate makeup artist who knows how to chocolate her face up correctly, because there's always seems to be some kind of blend that does not work with her complexion. Either she looks too pale, or they put like the powder is too white, or the foundation is too white, or the contours that they're doing, it just doesn't work for the shape of her face. I need somebody else to do her makeup better, but her outfit this year was gorgeous, okay? Then we get to Mia's dress. Mia was giving me everything. Her hair was good. You can see all the botched surgeries that she had on her face, but I can't change that. I mean, she still looks handsome in the face. But her dress, though, her dress was gorgeous. I would say that Mia's dress was my favorite out of everybody in that on the panel. I loved her dress. It was very beautiful. Then we had Karen and Ashley, who also look great. I wasn't a fan of Karen's outfit this year, but Karen's hair and makeup were great. Ashley looked absolutely beautiful. I liked her get up. It wasn't as loud, I would say, as Escala's hairstyle or Mia's dress, but it fit all together. Robin, I initially forgot her existence on the panel because she is always quiet. Like, she's like a one of those, she's like a chameleon or something. She blends into wherever she's at. And because her character is not very entertaining, if she's not speaking on all things Gizelle, then she just kind of fades up in the distance. But when I did notice her, she was dressed well. Her dress was absolutely beautiful. She looked great. She has a good physique. She still has that monotone voice. And Juan still has a butch wife in her. And, you know, or not even wife, forever girlfriend in her. I don't know what those two are doing, but she looked great. I would say that out of everybody in the panel, Gizelle looked worse. And as far as outfit and hair, and Karen's outfit was not my thing, but her hair looked great. And Wendy's makeup was not my thing. I didn't like it. Candiace looks absolutely beautiful. Candiace always comes, and she usually fits somewhere in the middle for me, okay? Now we have the Nicki Minaj. Y'all know that Nicki lawsuit Minaj was supposed to, or at least they were going to bring her on the show to, I guess, quote unquote, take Andy's place and, you know, run this reunion and such. But she did a video that they said saying that she wasn't going to be able to make it and that she's sorry. But we all know that she's going to pop up after she told the girls that she ain't going to be there, and we get to see the surprise. So essentially, we the viewers know that Nicki's going to show up, but they, the panel members, know that they're not going to show up. So then we get to the conversations and the segments. So we get to New Girl Mia. And her booty cracking stripping pole gets called into question about her and the conversations that she had. Mia then said that, you know, in the reruns that we're showing, or the little flashbacks that we're showing, G said something like she was paid $10,000 for her time. And everybody in the confessional is saying, nobody gonna pay you $10,000 for your time, bitch. You were out there spreading cheeks, okay? Their booty ass cheeks have seen more than a pole. You were riding G's pole. That's what that $10,000 was for. You were making extra money under the table with them strippers, girl. You were out there getting it. Ain't nobody gonna pay you $10 for a conversation. I'm listening to Mia talk, and she's not intellectually high up there to the extent to where I think that her conversation is worth 10K. Girl, stop lying. Then we have, Andy asked them about their first impression of Mia. And Candiace said that she loved her. She thought she was fun at first, which she did, y'all. Y'all saw that she was trying to protect her in the beginning of the show. And Gizelle said, I thought she was fun too, but we did have our first, you know, beginning incident because obviously Karen was the one who brought Mia into the group, or at least introduced her to the group. So initially Gizelle was kind of standoffish and felt some type of way and wanted to separate her from Karen in her mind. But then as time went by, Candiace said, yeah, but she lied a lot, which she did. Mia came in telling us that she was a stripper. Then at some point she was an escort. Now she's on the stage saying, no, she was a stripper, but she was at a high-end club where they had the spa, they had a massage therapy, they had a nail salon, a bar. They had everything inside this one building and a pole. And she wore this ball gown that occasionally came off where she was wearing her boy shorts. And that was it. I said, girl, I don't know what kind of strip club this was, but what you're saying to me still sounds like a whole club. And they asked her how she met G, and she fell in love with G right away. She said no, G was the high rolling little troll that's out here looking for young girls that he's gonna plow and pay $10,000 for their time. And when she first met him, he used to be the little ghetto ass man that would take off his shoes and walk around the club barefooted because he's the one that helped pay for the VIP section to be created. And when she saw him, when she was entertaining him, she didn't fall for him. But then she had a Haitian friend that had something go wrong, and G donated and was helping her. So she fell in love with his heart because she figured, oh, this man is not just here trying to get some ass. He actually is a decent person with money. So somehow she ended up falling in love with him. Then the question came up saying, why aren't you humble? Because you had to get your money from G to start your business, Mia. Why aren't you humble? Mia said no. She had Massage Envy, 2 of them, that G invested in, and G had a string of McDonald's. And before she got the chiropractic practices, she had that business and she put her money into the chiropractic practices. And the only 2 out of 8, G's name is on 2. The other ones he's not. So he invested, she make money out of it, then built several. But girl, he still gave your ass money. Either you on that pole, shaking your ass and getting money from him and taking dollars and tips and taking $10,000 to do more than just shake your ass on poles, or at least not that pole, then now you're sitting up here saying that it was all you. It wasn't all you. Yes, he made an investment, but he didn't start off investing in your business. He was investing in that ass first before he started anything. So Mia tried to spin a little bit of what she said. Then they asked her about her vagina rejuvenation situation. And they asked her, did you have a natural birth or a C-section? She said, I had a C-section. And so people are sitting here wondering, why the hell do you have a C-section but you needed your vagina rejuvenated? Most people who actually want their vagina rejuvenated has pushed out a baby and it didn't stretch out. So they want to tighten it up and get it back to the way it was. Mia said, no, she just fucks a lot. So that's why her vagina needed to be fixed. I said, girl, tell it all, because it makes sense. I told your ass that G wasn't paying her $10,000 for her time. She just said her coochie was stretched out. She had to get rejuvenated, but you were fucking. So, I mean, you did say you were an escort, but that part was left out of this particular conversation. But anyway, she had her ass and she had to explain everything, and some of the lies that she said had to catch up with her. And she was right. Candiace was right. She did tell a lot of lies. And Wendy made sure to let us know that that was not a mommy makeover that she got. That is not the same damn thing. But Wendy didn't have her ass rejuvenated. Oh my God, I'm out of breath. Lord. Okay, give me a minute because I can't breathe. I also have a blood sugar issue. Apparently I have gestational diabetes, which isn't good for me, because apparently now every 3 years I have to check to make sure I don't have type 2. I wasn't diabetic before I got pregnant. Now I am, which scares me. So I have to maintain my blood sugar too. But my back hurts, everything hurts. And right now I'm running out of breath. So bear with me. Then we have the conversation of Mia's mama coming up. They asked about how Mia's mom felt being on the show. Mia said, first of all, mom said she's going to pray for Candiace. And Candiace said, I don't need that prayer, because that prayer ain't going to go higher than the ceiling, child. She can keep her prayer for herself. And then additional to that, Mia now lets us know that contrary to what we saw the last episode, where her mom and G had got into it, and they, because they wanted her to watch the baby while they went to celebrate their anniversary. And she was complaining because she didn't know what to feed them. So now we thought that was going to be an it for them. But it seems like mom is back on board, and she's currently watching their kids and really trying her best to mend a relationship with Mia, which is a good thing. Then they talk about that happened, and they talk, the next segment we have is Gizelle and her love life, non-existent love life, and her unfinished bed and breakfast that she has, that she's calling a home. And they're asking her, they showed a little Gizelle segment, and they asked Gizelle about that 30-something-year-old guy that she was letting us know in the final episode that she was supposedly dating, that I said in my last review wouldn't be long, that the relationship was going to last as long as this conversation. And of course, she ain't with him no more. And then they asked about Jamal. And before they asked about Jamal, they were trying to figure out, Wendy was trying to figure out specifically the guy that Gizelle was talking about that she was dating, that she didn't want to tell everybody about. And Wendy said that she knew some guy that's in the same industry that apparently the guy that Gizelle was dating is, and that person told her that he was dating Gizelle, or he dated Gizelle, but she doesn't know if it's the same person that she was referring to when she was doing this finale. And Gizelle says, no, she don't know him. And Wendy says, Giselle's not his type because he likes women with integrity. I said, damn. Wendy is not going to spare Giselle's feelings because she didn't watch the show. She didn't see all the commentary, all the things that these bitches had said, and she's coming for the juggler for every single one of them, child. Yes, she is. Then we have Giselle's bed and breakfast / motel in question, and we see that the house is still ain't finished, okay? And then they're asking Gizelle about the house, and Karen calls it a drive-in or a drive-by. She said she basically made it look like the house is a crack house, and she just drive by, somebody's trying to drive by and shoot it up, or a drive-in where you got to stay outside and watch the movie from the outside. Karen is some shady ass person for real. But while they're asking Gizelle about her unfinished, comfort in, she now is discussing it and talking about the extra layer that she added. And Robin, who's not Gizelle, decides to pipe in and talk about Giselle's property and saying it's coming along, bitch. Worry about your house that we still need to figure out when it is gonna be finished, because you ain't got yours done either. You ain't Gizelle. Then we have Jamal coming up now, and he's cheating, and Gizelle decides to dance around the whole damn question. This topic came up primarily because it seemed like Gizelle, whenever she goes through things on the show, she tries to have a relationship, it doesn't last. She tries to keep a man that don't stay with her. She tries to actually make a relationship with her father of her kids that she's known for a long time. He cheats on her. Now, Giselle's timeline was full of lies. They asked Gizelle, when did y'all and Jamal separate? And this bitch don't remember when she broke up with the man. That's a lie. You know exactly when your relationship terminated. She said January, maybe February, maybe after holidays. Bitch, pick a date. We know exactly when we break up with somebody. We know a precise. We might not know the date of. We might say it was mid-January. It was the beginning of January. But she danced around and couldn't give us a set deadline because she knew that Jamal had already done videos where he actually stated that he wasn't with her, that this was reality TV. He had another girlfriend he was with, and she didn't want to admit to us that maybe her and Jamal had an open relationship initially, and Jamal was allowed to go and fuck around with whoever the hell he wants to fuck around with, and they were trying to now build something. But we saw the segment on TV last season when she said, no matter what, you and I are together. What does that mean? That you're okay with him having the side chicks so far as he makes you the main chick? I'm so confused. But when she tried to say that BS, Wendy's like, we heard Jamal in the interview said that he wasn't in a relationship with you, so which is it? And as Wendy's basically holding Gizelle's ass to the cross because Gizelle did dip into Wendy's marriage and decided to speak on it, so Wendy's going to speak on every part of your relationship from now on because you opened that damn door, bitch. So where they're trying to talk to her, Gizelle is not giving a straight up answer. And then Andy basically says, girl, your children called you an emotional vampire. You don't show any kind of pain. You don't show that you care. Gizelle says that, well, when somebody cheats on you before and they do it again or they hurt you, it's not the same pain. I understand what she means because when somebody breaks my heart for the first time, the pain is more brutal than if it happens again. But I wouldn't be hurt because it's happening again. My hurt would be that I open myself up to allow that individual to hurt me again. It'd be more like an embarrassment and a pain for myself. Like, how could I be so stupid? But when you're talking to Gizelle likes to keep up this wall. And she did admit that she's been robotic and that's how she's dealt with her pain. But then that begs the question that all this pain that she's choosing not to deal with, just to push it aside and build up a wall, she hasn't faced it. And until she faces it, she's not going to be able to actually hold a healthy, successful relationship that her daughters can actually look up to. They just see her as the woman who's cold. She can date people for the sake of sex if she just wants some, but she don't want to actually have someone to commit to because she's afraid of having somebody hurt her. And in order for her to even keep the relationship, she has to let her guard down, and Gizelle doesn't want to do that. So they asked Karen about why she spoke so openly about Gizelle's relationship. Karen says, bitch, I didn't want her ass to even go with him in the first place. And Gizelle is not peeping that Karen actually said it out of love. She don't care because nobody who loves you, who loves you would want you to go back to that idiot. Nobody. And I know Robin sat up there and kind of danced around the topic when Gizelle first mentioned Jamal. Robin was not a good friend. She was not straight up with her, telling her, bitch, what the hell are you doing? Not this one. The hairdresser or the makeup artist, the dude that Gizelle had was the one that was like, no, this is not okay. This man hadn't changed. Then as we're talking about that nonsense Jamal situation, it comes up that this man owes $740K to $800K in taxes, dating as far back as 2008, around the time when Gizelle was still married to him. And I said, this man just can't, either he's deep in some pussy or he's deep in with the IRS. Either, I don't know what kind of pastor that is this. There are a lot of crazy holy or supposed holy people out there. I know that much. But to be on television knowing that this is the type of scandalous life that you live is bold. Jamal is nothing, but he's not afraid. He's bold as hell. That's what I will say. But as we're talking to Gizelle's saying, my taxes are paid. I don't need to worry about him. And Karen is giving her advice. Listen, boo, one of those years you were still married to him, so they could come for you for liability for just that 1 year. She said, no, ain't got nothing to do. I said, Gizelle, shut the fuck up and listen to what Karen is saying to you for somebody who has experience. Because Gizelle is not hearing Karen. She just doesn't want to hear Karen at all. She thinks that she knows it all. Sometimes it's good to hush and hear what the other person has to say because Karen is actually saying something nice to you, bitch, and you still ain't hearing it. Okay, then we get to the Escala beautiful self coming out. She shows up she's gorgeous. Escala is absolutely beautiful. I like that they add her to the show. I'm hoping that they make her a permanent cast member because I do like her input when she speaks. She decides that she's going to style somebody. She's going to style Gizelle, which I think is the one person in the stage that needs to be styled pronto. Then we get to Candiace and her husbander segment. We watched the episode where Candiace is talking to her mama saying that, Chris is going to be her husbander. And we watched the scene where they're discussing Chris as a manager and Chris saying that he can't just quit everything and just cater to her because he's not going to ask her for allowances. We get through all that. And we get to the commentary when Andy's asking her about it. And she said, Chris wasn't managing my music career because his specialty is cooking. And he had a restaurant before the pandemic, right? That what he's doing was managing her. And Candiace doesn't need to be managed. Her behavior needs to be managed because she'd be very immature and her words out of her mouth can make her a very deplorable person. So I can understand how Chris would want to manage her as a person because if she walks around with Akbar's attitude, because Akbar V is very talented, but her attitude and where she always fighting or arguing with somebody online, same thing with Tommy, has been their downfall. Candiace has that same recklessness with her behavior and her mouth. With Chris being the middle person to smooth things over like we see him doing all the time, with her balancing her out is good for him to manage her. Plus he's her husband, so why not? Then Andy asked, messy as shit, is Chris being paid? Bitch, why would I pay my husband? for doing what's best for both of us. If my music career goes, takes off, we're married, we're one. Okay, so if I'm successful, so is he. Why are you trying to distinguish as if he's by himself and I'm by myself? We are together. We are legally married. So all these excess effort or extra effort that people like Gizelle and Robin's no married ass are trying to make into trying to decipher who has money. Mia herself trying to break apart, well, who has money in the relationship. Mia, your ass got your 8 chiropractic practices by having to dip into the funds that G gave you from you shaking your ass and fucking him with $10,000 each time for 2 hours of conversation. But you were getting your money from somebody. You didn't get there by yourself. Now that he's your husband, he's still supporting you because he's out there playing house husband while you out there doing the business. Something has to give in a relationship. You are partners. So Chris ain't doing nothing wrong. But the fact that they made him seem like he was some bum, talking about him like a fucking dog, it was wrong. So now Candiace is now discussing it. And Ashley's asked, and Ashley said, you know what, during the pandemic, his restaurant probably took a hit, like a bunch of other restaurants took a hit during the pandemic. So obviously he's probably feeling down, probably feeling like he don't have nothing to do, and he needs to go and feel like he's needed and he's useful, and he wants to be working out there. He's not a person that just sits on his ass. He got kids already. So that's probably why he inserted himself into helping Candiace, but he didn't know it was going to be like this. People was going to say this type of shit that they were going to say. And then they bring up Dottie, Candiace's fucked up ass mama. Now, they asked Candiace about the whole Dottie situation. And the first thing Gizelle does is try and now, because she don't want to meet rat-tat-tat-tat Candiace, so Gizelle now basically deflects responsibility off of Mia, off of Robin, and off of herself. Because Gizelle did go to Dottie and say that she felt like Chris was riding on Candiace's coattails. Bitch, that's none of your damn business. Because you don't have a man, you don't know what's appropriate to say. 2, Robin was asking questions to Dottie that were very, very personal for Dottie. Dottie answered it, but they were asking. And then Mia started off by prying as well, in addition to making fun of the venue when she showed up because she felt like she had to be pampered and wanted somebody to come and greet her ass. Every single one of you did some fucked up ass shit in that situation. Does that mean that Dottie was right? No. Dottie's old as hell. She's older than all you heifers, so she should have known better. Why go to your daughter's event when you were invited to support her and talk shit about the man that you literally watched your daughter walk down the aisle to marry? That was some fucked up shit. So, but Gizelle basically turned around and said, but you're not mad at your mom, but you're mad at us. Bitch, if Candiace is going to check her mom, she's not going to do it in front of y'all. For fucking what? If I was going to check my mom for something, I would not do it in front of my friends. So you don't know what Candiace actually said to her mom. You're making assumptions. Candiace was pissed off at her mama, and she just admitted it on the show, and she needed a tissue because you know that she's an ambassador for Kleenex. So she got the tissue and she was crying, saying that now that Chris has seen how far Dottie went with her mouth and announcing that shit on national television to where all of us got to perceive it and giving a false image like she was paying for the house, which she's not, as if her name is the house, which is on the house, which is not, actually insinuating that Chris was maybe a bum, which he's not, saying, why did he get married just to quit his dot? Bitch, it's none of your fucking business. Mind your business. Get your own life. That's what you need to do. Because y'all remember that Dottie, the way that she acts like Candiace's life is her own, and it's not. Get a freaking life. Candiace said that she cussed her mama out in a way that she should have never cussed her out before ever in her life, because her mom's behavior has now affected her interaction with her in-laws, because they're going to take it out on Candiace, not on the mom. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to be like, why don't you control your mom? We married you into our family. Why is she out there disrespecting our own family member? I don't think that Dottie realizes the extent of what her mouth has done. Do I think that Candiace should have cussed her mama out? I would not cuss my mama out because she'll kill me. I would just go ahead and just keep her at arm's length for a while so she knows that it's the cold shoulder and it's going to be there for a while until I feel like I can trust her again. But Candiace cussing her mama out, I mean, Candiace she has a mouth, and if her mama would have hit over the head with a purse, then I guess, it is what it is. I mean, what do y'all think? Do you think that it's appropriate to cuss out your mama? I mean, I don't know what the right decision here to say. I just know what I would do in my situation. Now we got Mia and the video shoot and the low budget comment coming up, and Mia still don't get the point why Candiace went after her. Right? Mia said, it was low budget. I was expecting somebody to come there and say hi to me and, give me wine and pour me some drinks and walk me on the red carpet to go and do a video shoot. Bitch, you were an extra. You were supposed to come in there and be part of the crowd. It was so bad. I don't know what Mia is expecting. You were not a celebrity, bitch. I don't know. You're not even a Z-list celebrity. Why would you expect somebody to come here and greet you? The thing about it is, I understand that Mia would have because she has more money now, right? She wants to expect a little bit different, but this is Candiace's startup career. Nobody who's starting up a music career comes out shelling millions of dollars to do a all, great video. It looks a little bit shoddy sometimes because they're just trying to get themselves out there. So for you to come there and still behave that way, it's rude. And now you're sitting here in front of her still calling it low budget, low budget, low budget when she told you that that's a trigger for her because it's her hard work. It's hard work, and it feels like you're diminishing her hard work. So when she sits up there and talks about your mama, you want to get mad too. Now, on the other hand, talking about somebody's mama is fighting words. Okay? I know that it's ironic because the way that Andy went after Candiace this season on this panel for the whole Yo Mama jokes. I mean, there was a show called Yo Mama. Y'all remember that show? There was a show called Yo Mama where you sat there and people got money for getting the best Yo Mama jokes. If y'all remember, I don't remember the main character. Somebody can tell me if y'all remember the show where they were in the street and they got two people saying your mama this, your mama that, your mama this, your mama that, and then whoever got the money or got the winner or whatever got some kind of prize. Now I'm sitting up here watching the show and wondering how the hell Yo Mama jokes got so serious. Here's the thing about it. I read some of y'all comments. Somebody says, Mia's traumatized what she went through. Her mom was a drug addict, possibly a crackhead. We don't know what particular drug or choice she chose. But there have been several comedians who've made jokes about crackheads. Dave Chappelle is still making jokes about methamphetamine, heroin users, white folks. I mean, there are several jokes out there. Yes, we know that having a drug addict parent, just like having an abusive parent, having a molester of a parent, having a killer of a parent, having there's several incidences in people's life that can cause trauma. But Mia is not the only one who has experienced it. And Mia is going after Candiace, but getting mad at Candiace for responding to her in a harsher way. Now, here's the thing about Candiace's response. It's harsher than what Mia is giving her. But at the same time, if Mia fought Candiace would also be crying. So I'm like, if Candiace's mouth is going to be as reckless as it is, she needs to be prepared to get into a fight. Because that's what it is. If somebody says your mama is fighting words, but at the same time, Mia, don't be mad because you opened the door in the first place to get cussed out whichever way it came. So Andy's sitting up here holding Candiace's feet to the cross for a yo mama insult. Candiace says it's called joning. You can sit there, and she tells Mia that she was ungrateful because she was going light on Mia. Mia should have been thankful that she wasn't going above and beyond what she would normally do, like how she talks to Chris when she gets pissed off. And Candiace is right. She could have done far worse. But she does go for the gutter punch. And then Andy says, well, how is that working out for you, your words? Because you almost got your hands put on you, like I said, almost. I remember Monique grabbing her by the hair and just, clocking her above her head. We didn't know if her hair or her weave were going to survive. I mean, that lace front, whatever she had on her hair, was really tight and well done because it lasted while Monique wouldn't let go. She had a full grip of Candiace and she was going to work her until she got her enough hit and she got her anger out. And Candiace was sitting there crying, going through therapy sessions, talking about how she's so afraid for her life and how she's scared, basically building up a case because she wanted money. And it didn't go nowhere because people watched the show and saw that how her behavior is, how it hasn't changed, how it's behaving now. But Andy, you didn't actually tell Candiace about some of the puns that she would say that can come off harsh, that could potentially cause a fight. Last year. So now that you're sitting here, we're in season 6, trying to correct the behavior she's been exhibiting for as long as we know her. For what? Like, there's no point. And Candiace says that everybody on this panel has said some janky shit. Now, Gizelle may not have said your mama to somebody, but Gizelle is talking about somebody's marriage and talking about infidelity about it, right? Robin at some point wanted to fight Ashley when Ashley was talking about her relationship with Juan and not being realistic and how they need to get married and why they shacking up, right? Karen and Gizelle have got into it, but Karen is a little bit older. She's going to walk away. There have been several harsh things that have been said to several members of this cast. Candiace is younger and she's louder. And her darts a little bit more shocking, okay, when she says it, because she reads very well. So it rings differently. Andy's telling her, but people are messaging me talking about fire her. I'm like, bitch, don't fire her. She's entertaining. She's one of the reasons why I watched the show, okay? It's reality TV. Candiace's reads are give me life. She called me a handsome. I mean, handsome. Not beautiful, child, handsome. So, and she's talking about, Ashley's forehead and how big it is and how far back it is. It's crazy as hell how some of the stuff that Candiace says. So it's not news to me that she will go after Mia in this way. It's not. But Gizelle said something stupid like, well, if after what I saw, if Mia would have clocked you, I would have been like, well, but bitch, weren't you sitting up here last year talking about how Monique, there's no reason for anybody to put their hands on anybody. Physical violence is not to be condoned. You showed up with a freaking bodyguard saying that you don't know what's going to happen to you in the presence of Monique. Now you're sitting up here saying that if somebody did get into a fight, like if Mia hit Candiace, it'll be justified. So you wouldn't be scared for your life then? Shut up. You just didn't like Monique. You wanted her off the show, bitch, because you were jealous. Then we had Candiace say, I did have a problem with, before this happened, Andy brought up the butter knife and Candiace throwing it at Ashley in her home when she was living in a home that Dottie was paying for part of the mortgage, right? They showed the scene when Ashley came in talking about Candiace's mama's and how she owns this house inside her own house. Bitch, you're not gonna sit up here and talk shit about me in my own house. But Candiace did pick up a butter knife and she was waving that shit in front of Ashley's face. She asked Ashley to leave. Giselle's messy ass went outside and told Ashley to come back. Ashley came back after being asked to exit the premises, so she got a knife thrown in her direction. Just like Mia got salad thrown in her direction, and Candiace. So it's just a lot of situations that they mentioned with Candiace and how she's the common denominator in these little altercations. And Candiace said something like, I don't really talk about your forehead. I don't sit up here and talk crazy, and I already asked you to leave. Ashley's like, bitch, your forehead is as wide as mine. Candiace is like, no, your forehead is about 2.5 inches wider than mine. It's receding. I was like, oh my God. Oh God. Karen in the corner talking about y'all. Don't talk about my forehead, because Karen's forehead is pretty big too. Y'all saw it. It's pretty big. But Ashley, on the other hand, is going to pipe in because she don't like Candiace like that. Robin is going to pipe in when you talk to Gizelle as usual. But they did end this segment with Candiace saying to Mia, I did not appreciate you insinuating that if your mother was to relapse, it would be my fault. Bitch, it ain't going to be my fault if anybody relapses in life. I am not going to put the pipe in her hand or the needle in her hand. I know I'm not going to give her the drugs to do it. If she decides to relapse, it's going to be her choice, because your ass brought her on this show to make her your storyline. And Mia says, no, my mom brought her by herself on the show to tell her story. That's bullshit, Mia. You brought her on the show. We didn't know who your mama was until you came on the show. Hell, we didn't even know who you were. Your mom came in through you, and you did use her as your storyline. So let's tell the truth and shame the devil. And if she does relapse, but it won't be Candiace's fault. It will not. But ironically, when Mia was saying that line, talking about my mom relapses, that bitch better catch me outside, nobody said anything to her. I said it in my review. Mia was full of shit when she said that. I did say it in the review. If y'all go back, Mia was full of shit when she said that. You are not going to put your mom's adult decisions on Candiace's mouth. You have to understand that people who do drugs, people who are alcoholics, people who have been murderers, killers, rapists, whatever the case is, sex abusers, all those other nonsenses, people will make fun of them in life. They do it all the time. And you have to develop a thick skin to be able to take it or not. But when you go ahead and do something bad, your actions when you're adult is not somebody else's responsibility, period. But Candiace checked that behavior, and Mia looked at her and said, fuck you. So Candiace is like, fuck me, bitch. You better be careful, because she's going to tell your mama again. So I'm just like, this reunion was a lot. It gave. I would loved it. I liked that they did talk to everybody that was relevant. We haven't heard from Escala. We haven't heard from Robin yet. We haven't gone to Ashley's little fight yet. But everybody did have an opinion. And Wendy was going after Mia the whole time. Bitch, are you talking? Shut up. I was like, damn, Wendy is not seeing it for Gizelle. She definitely seen it for Robin, and she ain't seen it for Mia at all. Wendy has had enough with some of these fake ass bitches, and she's gonna let it be known. So that was this reunion. I cannot wait to see next week. I'm going to now do Salt Lake City review. I've already watched it. I thought it was entertaining. I'm gonna say what I need to say, especially about Mary Crosby's fake ass. So I'm gonna talk about it, and you guys look for that as soon as you're done with this review, okay?